Hi folks, really short one today because it's Friday and I'm guessing we're all wanting to go out and have a pint after a long, hard, oh that sounded wrong, week of work. Hope you're all doing really well. If you like what I do, then, head on down to the Patreon maybe down below or become a member of the channel or simply like the video, subscribe to the channel and, help me out a little bit. I hope you're having a wonderful week and today we're going to be discussing another time when I got into trouble at Games Workshop and through these stories, you would think that I'm always in trouble at Games Workshop, and to be honest with you, in the last 2 to 3 months of me being there, that was pretty much the case. There was something every week. It's just how it went. But I've only realised since I've left, in the years since I've been able to process, how much of a traumatic time that was. I've only been able to process just how bad it was for me when I was there. Just how deeply it affected me, just not being there anymore, but also how much of a transformative and action-packed time in my life that was. I don't think I've ever had a time in my life where so much has gone on so quickly in terms of training, the amount of stories I've been able to glean by people's experiences in the hobby whilst I was there and what went on, and it really has defined my working life for a long time, and I loved most of my time there. So don't ever think these stories are a bashing of Games Workshop, because they're not. A lot of these are more funny than they are terrible. I'm sure you've got that from your gleaning through the videos. But there's still far more to tell. And if you look back over my videos, there's a lot of videos there. This is how action-packed those few years was as a Games Workshop manager, and even as a staff member. Like how much stuff is thrown at you on a daily basis at Games Workshop. Not all of it's bad, but all of it's meme-worthy, and most of it is story-worthy too. So yeah, this is one of those times where I got into trouble for essentially using something that I shouldn't at Games Workshop. So, for those of you who are on YouTube and you like Warhammer, you know about Text-to-Speech Device, the YouTube channel by brother Alfabusa, and his content that he used to do on Warhammer. Now, unfortunately, that is no longer a thing, thanks to YouTube's vigorous pursuit of their own copyright, which is complete bull for me, but, as far as I'm concerned, every company deserves to protect their own copyright, but there is always an exception. It's always like this, except for when it's not, and that's life. Life is grey. Like, there's a big old grey area, and this is one of those times. Because I think Games Workshop benefits from a copious amount of free advertising from people like brother Alfabusa, who pull people into the hobby through the awesomeness of their content. And if you walk away from that as a company, Games Workshop, you're turning down free money, essentially. So, But this is a story that can actually showcase how backwards thinking Games Workshop are in terms of their copyright infringement and their protection rights. Now, I'm the first person to say, any opinion that I come up with, right, and I've wanted to say this for a while, any opinion that I come up with at all, just to preface this, I'm going to use the word retard, because that's basically what I am. I very rarely use that word anymore, but that's basically what I am, I'm a moron. So don't take anything that I say too seriously. I'm here to make you laugh, I'm here to make you smile, I'm here to get you through your day at work, or whatever the hell you're doing, however your life's going, alright? So don't take it too seriously. Because I know a lot of people will come down on Games Workshop side and say, well, it's copyright, this and that, well, I've got my own opinion. But don't take it too seriously, I'm a moron. So, going on. So, when I was running my own Games Workshop store, I used to not advertise, because you're not allowed to advertise as a Games Workshop manager, so don't be naughty, which is completely arse backwards, but there we go. No, what I used to do was advertise subliminally through myself, through being a meme. So my Facebook page for my store was basically just this loads of Warhammer jokes, loads of Warhammer puns, constantly showing off people's models, showing off events that have been happening in the store, shit like that, essentially. So, you could grab it. I wanted a hobbyist to look at what I was doing and go, oh, I like that, that's me. I'd do something like that if I owned a store, right? And then they come in and they want to know what the hell's going on. One of those things is that I would use clips from Warhammer Media, especially if it was stuff from YouTube that I liked, that I thought was really funny. I once got a severe bollocking, and I deserved this one, for using the Flash Gits Evil GW video. Um, I used a few clips from that, and I got an absolute bollocking for it. And this was like that was like my last few weeks with the company, and that's fine. I took that one on the chin because I was like, yeah, I knew what I was doing when I did that. I knew you'd get upset at me, and I did it because I thought it would be funny. But if you don't know the clip that I mean, go and look for Evil GW Flash Gits on YouTube, and you'll soon get what I mean. So here's the thing. I loved Brother Alfabusa's content. When I was in university, it's what got me back into Warhammer 40,000, or it was at least one of the main things. I remember on a Sunday when we did our D&D campaign, the lads would turn up. We had a few girls in the group as well, but the lads would turn up, the Warhammer lads, and we'd just watch Brother Alfabusa content with the Chinese. Like, we'd save it every week, because we were so behind. We discovered it together, and we were like, he was literally 3/4 of the way through his run at that point. So we ate Chinese food and before the session and watched a bit of Brother Alfabusa. So I've got these really cool memories of his channel and going over it. So when I had my own store, I used to use his clips quite a lot, and because it's funny. And there's this one clip called Necrons Laughing Condescendingly, right? And in our store, we used to run a campaign where if you spent a bit of money on 2 separate sets of product, you could combine them and convert them into a single set, for which you could then write rules for and use those rules in our campaign. And each and every single one of these special units that was unique to every single person, they were so proud of, and it was really nice to see, because it was unique. As I said before, we had a Imperial Fist player who used a Breacher Shield, and he would link them together into like a shield wall type formation. And he would have loads of other bits and bobs on there from 2 or 3 different sets of Space Marines, or Horus Heresy Space Marines. And he would get an insanely good rules for when they're all linked together and he's using them properly, right? And we had a Necron player too, who had some sort of a mental issue. I'm not sure what it was. I didn't pry, but I was determined to help this guy out and have some fun with him. So we created a Necron list for him, and we went out of our way to make sure it was really, really powerful. And then him and his mum, with me, we picked out 2 Necron sets. It was a set of Wraiths and a set of, I think it's Tomb Guards, are they called? Can't remember. But yeah, the big bulky guys. So we got them. We mashed them all together. We even did a design doc where we had a guy who was like a composition artist for a local game studio back where I used to work. And he came in and he actually did a quick sketch of what it would look like if you combine these 2 sets together, and where you could put things and where you could put spindles and tentacles and things like that. And this kid was all over that, and he spent hours at home building these things, spray painting them, painting them properly, and they looked amazing. They were like a dark black charcoal with like orange burning through them, like it was lava underneath. It looked amazing. But anyway, we created some rules for these guys, and these were the most insanely overpowered rules you could ever get in Warhammer. But everyone was agreeing to it. By the way, everyone in the campaign was like, yeah, give him like amazing rules, because he kept losing. We wanted him to use these and get them really powerful. And so I said, right, on the announcement of what, of his rules, I didn't say what the rules were, but on the Facebook page I said, here is me, Northern Exile, and let's call him Dave, reading the rules that we've written for his new Necron list. And it's the 2 Necrons laughing condescendingly whilst reading a cease and desist letter. And it's really, really, really funny. It still makes me chuckle now when I see it, right? So I put that up on the store Facebook page. A few days later, so we have our gaming night on a Thursday, and this kid blows everybody out with this unit. It goes down eventually, but he wins the weekly 4-man game. It's his first win. He's over the moon, and he can't wait to come back next week, and it's brilliant. Anyway, on the Sunday of that week, I'm getting ready, because on Monday and Tuesday I have my days off, which is very nice. So I'm getting ready to close up. And somebody turns up from head office. And this guy is a really nice guy. I'm not going to say his name, but I think he knows who he is. I brought him up before. And he's a trainer, and he walks in. And he's a nice guy, but there are certain times where he will take the corporate spiel bit of it, and he'll take it a bit too far, as they all do. It is how they're built. So he comes in, and it's like he's talking to a school child. He says, I'm here to discuss something that you've done wrong. I said, okay. And I look at him, And he's like, well, do you not know what it is? And I'm like, no. Like, the way this works is if you want to tell me I've done something wrong, you tell me what I've done wrong. You don't have me guess like I'm in year 6, like I'm 12. You know, you tell me what I've done wrong, and then we'll discuss it. You know, so we're off on the bad foot straight away, right? We're off on a bad foot. And he says, well, I need to talk to you about your Facebook page. And I said, oh, right, that. I thought it was going to be one of, like, 90 other things that they could have picked up on, you know. But I thought, well, that's nothing. You know, I can explain that away. That's fine. And he said, yeah, you're not allowed to use Brother Alfabusa's content on your Facebook page. I said, oh, right, okay. Is that because it's offensive? Or, like, it's got swearing in it? Because the clips I use don't have swearing in them, you know? Or is it because, like, a kid can look at that and then go look him up and it's got loads of swearing in his episodes? And he said, no, not that. I said, oh, okay, well, what is it? Well, it's copyright. It's not our copyright. Because it's transformative. It's his now. And he can actually sue us for us using that content in our advertisements. I went, well, number one, we're not allowed to do advertisements, so it's not an advertisement, right? It's me simply saying that I've written some rules and it's going to be fun for the people who come to the store, right? I'm not advertising anything. I'm celebrating this guy's rules, number one. You know, number two, it's our art that he's using. Nobody would be stupid enough to sue especially not Brother Alfabusa. If you've seen any of his videos, right, when he's been speaking, he is a legal beagle. He knows what he's entitled to and what he's not. And he's terrified of Games Workshop coming after him legally, hence him shutting down text-to-speech device to begin with, right? So, I say, look, no, like, he's not going to come after us. It's our art. No one's that stupid. Well, don't get me wrong. There are certain hobbyists who are that stupid, who would take you to a court of law, and they would lose a lot of money because Games Workshop would just bury you in litigation until you give up, and you've spent loads more money than they have because they've got billions and you don't. So, like, no one's going to come after us for doing this, and they say, well, regardless, it's a legal issue. You need to take it down. And I say, right, okay. So I take it down. And as I'm taking it down, and he makes me do it in front of him, by the way, as I'm taking it down on my laptop, he says, what are all these? And I said, well, these are all other videos that we put on, you know, on our YouTube, on our Facebook group. And he's like, and he huffs and puffs and says, right, we need to get rid of all of this. And I was like, okay. So we spent like half an hour of me going through, deleting everything from my Facebook group. And none of it was offensive. None of it was over the top. It was all tongue-in-cheek. It was all very funny. Even stuff that I'd put on that I'd made myself, he made me take down. So I made like little shorts and things like that had our models in them. We had a guy who was a voice actor come into the store, and I'd have like, you know, Caldor Drago, like you know, you can actually see my hand underneath as he's walking around, sort of a thing. It's just funny stuff that goes on in the store. Normally I'd do these things when I'd say I was bored, so come and say hello to me. It was like a really quiet really quiet Wednesday or something. Wednesday afternoon, I'd say, oh, come and say hello to me, and I'd like start making these weird videos, so people were like, oh my god, he's going mad. We need to go and say hello. So, and we'd end up with a store full of people because, like, you know, they want to come and see, you know, this guy's funny. Let's go say hello. But yeah, so we had to delete all of that stuff, and I got another warning. He said, no, this is gonna. I didn't know you put that much stuff on there. There's gonna have to be another warning. And I said, okay, that's like 9 warnings now. When are you gonna sack me? Because I don't want to be here anymore. You know, and we had these conversations all of the time. I was like, look, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, when are you going to sack me? I don't want to leave because I'm letting people down. I'm letting my customers down if I leave because I'm leaving them in your hands. So, you know, that's it. 9 warnings now. You know, 2 of them written. Like, can I just go? You know, and so we left it at that. Not the best way to leave it, of course, but you know, I was done at this stage. You know, I was a few weeks away from finally my contract being over, so I could just leave and leave with a clear conscience. But this is how they get you, right? They didn't get me because I loved the hobby so much. They got me because I loved my customers so much, and they knew I wasn't going to leave, and they knew the store was doing really well. They didn't want to offer me anything else because they didn't think I was a good fit for them, you know. But they didn't want to sack me either because if they sack me, then everybody leaves the store because they're like, well, fuck you then. We're not going to come here anymore, you know? So I was in limbo, basically. But that is another time where I get into trouble at Games Workshop for simply using content that is ours. Ours? Our quote-unquote. Our art, you know, that sort of thing. But anyway, what do you guys think about copyright claims, Games Workshop, things like that? Let me know in the comments down below. And let me know what you would like to hear about next, because I have a few options here for you. So we have option 1. That is being recognised in public. As a Games Workshop manager, some of the really awkward times where I've been walking through town on a date or with friends and I've been pulled aside by somebody who recognises me from Games Workshop and wants to have a word. Number 2 is losing your faith in the hobby. So that's how being Games Workshop manager kind of took that away from me steadily as we went over years. And number 6 is Alariel lives in Sheffield, the time when me and a few friends met somebody who works at Games Workshop who looks exactly like Alariel and then decided to dress up as her. You know, I have a funny feeling I know which one you guys are going to pick, but we'll see. So put that in the description down below, or sorry, the comments down below. I love you all long time. Have a really good weekend. I won't put any advertisements on this one because you were bombarded with composite games last time. Have a really good weekend. I will speak to you. We've got Dragon Age tomorrow, and maybe Sunday. We'll see how much I get done. See you then. Have a good one.